Welcome to my Observe Abram channel. Why do humans really die? Is it because the heart stops or the brain shuts down? What if I told you death doesn't begin there? It starts much smaller, invisible to the eye, deep inside your cells. Every cell in your body carries a hidden countdown. When it reaches 0, aging begins and life slowly fades. But in reality, death is actually a blessing for humans. It keeps our bodies in balance and life meaningful. Now that we've asked why humans die, let's look inside the body to find the real reason. Every organ in our body, the heart, the lungs, the brain, is made up of billions of tiny cells. These cells are the building blocks of life. When cells stop working properly, organs fail, and eventually, the body dies. To answer that, we have to look at something even smaller than the cell, DNA. DNA is the blueprint of life. It contains all the instructions a cell needs to function, grow, and divide. Every time a cell divides, it must copy all its DNA perfectly. But there's a problem. The very ends of DNA strands, called chromosomes, cannot copy completely. Nature solved this problem by adding telomeres, protective caps at the ends of chromosomes. Think of telomeres like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Their job is to protect the important parts of DNA during cell division. Each time a cell divides, a small part of the telomere is used up. Over many years, the telomeres become shorter and shorter. When they get too short, the cell can no longer divide safely and begins to malfunction. This is why aging begins at the cellular level, long before the heart or brain fail. Every cell in our body has a hidden countdown, and telomeres act like a biological timer, keeping track of how many times a cell can divide. This countdown ensures that cells do not divide endlessly, which could be dangerous. In this way, death is not a sudden event. It's a gradual process that starts at the core of life, deep inside our DNA. Understanding this gives us a new perspective. Aging and death are not flaws. They are nature's way of keeping our bodies in balance, protecting us from errors, and ultimately, preserving life in an orderly way. Let's explore why cells age and eventually stop dividing. Not all cells can divide forever. Scientists discovered decades ago that human cells have a built-in limit to division, called the Hayflick Limit. On average, a normal human cell can divide about 40 to 60 times. After reaching this limit, the cell enters a state called senescence. Senescent cells no longer divide and don't function properly. Over time, these non-dividing cells accumulate in our tissues and organs, slowly weakening them. This is a major reason why our bodies age. Telomeres play a key role here. Remember, they are the protective caps at the ends of our DNA. Each cell division shortens telomeres slightly. After many years, telomeres shrink so much that cells cannot divide safely. When this happens, the cell either dies or enters senescence. This shortening of telomeres is like a built-in biological clock, counting down the lifespan of each cell. Even if someone takes perfect care of their body, cellular aging is unavoidable. Our cells are programmed this way to prevent uncontrolled division, which could lead to dangerous outcomes like cancer. In other words, aging is not a flaw. It is a protective mechanism built into life itself, ensuring our cells stop dividing before they cause chaos inside the body. By understanding the Hayflick limit and telomere shortening, we can see that aging is a natural process. It is part of the delicate balance that keeps life functioning safely, and it all begins at the microscopic level of each cell. While most cells in our body follow the Hayflick limit, not all cells age at the same rate. Some cells, like stem cells and germ cells, have a unique ability to divide many more times without losing function. They do this with the help of an enzyme called telomerase, which rebuilds the protective telomeres at the ends of DNA. Telomerase essentially resets the cellular countdown, allowing these special cells to divide far longer than normal cells. This is how stem cells can continuously repair tissues and help maintain organs throughout life. Germ cells, which give rise to eggs and sperm, also maintain long telomeres to ensure the next generation starts with healthy DNA. This raises a fascinating question. If telomerase can rebuild telomeres, could we theoretically activate it in all our cells and stop aging? Could humans become biologically immortal? It sounds like science fiction. But at the cellular level, this is the principle scientists are exploring in longevity research. However, there is a catch. While telomerase allows some cells to live longer, activating it in all cells carries huge risks. Cells that divide endlessly without restriction can lead to uncontrolled growth, the very basis of cancer. Nature built aging and death into normal cells as a safety mechanism to prevent this chaos. Understanding stem cells and telomerase gives us insight into the delicate balance of life. Some cells can repair and extend life, but too much uncontrolled division can be dangerous. Aging in this sense is not just unavoidable, it is a protective design that keeps our bodies and life itself safe. While telomerase allows stem cells and germ cells to divide safely for long periods, cancer cells have found a way to exploit the same mechanism. Cancer cells activate telomerase to rebuild their telomeres, which allows them to divide endlessly. Unlike normal cells, they bypass the Hayflick limit entirely. This makes cancer cells biologically immortal. They do not stop dividing, and this uncontrolled growth forms tumors that can damage organs and eventually threaten life. In other words, immortality at the cellular level often comes with a deadly cost. This is why nature created a delicate balance. Normal cells are programmed to age and eventually die, a process that prevents endless cell division. Limited division may lead to aging, but it protects us from cancer. Unlimited division may sound like immortality, but it is catastrophic for the body. So aging and death are not failures of biology. They are safety mechanisms built into life itself. Our cells age, our telomeres shorten, and eventually we die. But this process prevents chaos and keeps the body functioning in a controlled, orderly way. By understanding how cancer and telomerase interact, we can see that life is a careful balance between longevity and risk. Nature designed death and aging not as punishments, but as essential parts of life's blueprint. Let's explore how aging actually affects the body and organs. As telomeres shorten and senescent cells accumulate, tissues gradually lose their ability to repair themselves. This affects every system in the body, and from muscles to the heart, the lungs, and even the brain. Aging is further accelerated by DNA damage. Stress, pollution, radiation, and poor diet all contribute to errors in our genetic code. When DNA is damaged, cells cannot function at full capacity. Energy production in the mitochondria, the cell's powerhouses, becomes less efficient. Organs begin to tire. Metabolism slows and the immune system weakens, leaving the body vulnerable to infections and diseases. All of these changes are gradual, but they compound over decades. The body slowly loses resilience and organs cannot perform as efficiently as they once did. This is why aging feels like a natural decline, but it is really the combined effect of cellular limits, telomere shortening, and cumulative DNA damage. In this way, death is not sudden or cruel. It is the end result of a carefully balanced process. By aging slowly, the body maintains function as long as possible, repairs itself when it can, and prevents uncontrolled cell growth that could lead to cancer. Aging is a biological design, ensuring life continues in a controlled, orderly way. As we understand how aging and death work at the cellular level, the big question arises: can science slow or even reverse this process? Researchers have been exploring ways to extend cell life, repair DNA damage, and even rebuild telomeres. Stem cells are central to this research. Unlike normal cells, stem cells can divide many times without losing function because they produce telomerase, the enzyme that rebuilds telomeres. Scientists are studying whether activating telomerase in targeted cells could help repair tissues, delay aging, and improve organ function. Some studies have shown that telomerase therapy can extend the lifespan of cells in the lab. However, there is a significant risk. Cells that divide endlessly without restriction can become cancerous. This is why nature designed most cells to age and die, to prevent exactly this type of uncontrolled growth. The challenge for science is finding a balance: how to extend cell life safely without triggering cancer. Researchers are also looking at lifestyle factors: diet, exercise, reducing stress, and minimizing DNA-damaging exposures, because these can slow the natural shortening of telomeres. So while science offers promising tools to delay aging, it cannot completely stop it. Nature's limits are there for a reason, and even with cutting-edge technology, death remains an essential part of life's balance. By now, we've seen how death begins in our cells, how telomeres shorten, and how the body ages. But what does this teach us about life? Interestingly, death is not an enemy, as it is a blessing. The limitations built into our cells, the Hayflick limit, telomere shortening, and programmed aging, all serve a purpose. They prevent cells from dividing uncontrollably, which could lead to cancer. They ensure that life proceeds in an orderly and balanced way, rather than descending into chaos. Understanding this gives us a new perspective. Life is precious precisely because it is limited. Every moment, every heartbeat, and every decision matters. Aging and death are natural reminders that our time is finite, encouraging us to live fully, appreciate the present, and take care of our bodies. Even at the cellular level, nature shows us balance. Stem cells repair and rejuvenate, but normal cells age and die for the greater good of the organism. This is a perfectly designed system. Life continues safely, and humans can experience decades of healthy living without the risk of uncontrolled cellular chaos. In this way, death is not something to fear. It is nature's way of protecting life, maintaining harmony, and giving meaning to the limited time we have. By understanding the science behind aging, we can respect life more deeply and see death as a natural part of existence. From the cellular science of aging, it's important to see how our daily choices influence it. While aging is inevitable, factors like diet, exercise, stress management, and environmental exposure can slow the process and protect our cells. Telomeres are sensitive to stress and lifestyle. Studies show that chronic stress, poor diet, smoking, pollution, and lack of exercise accelerate telomere shortening. On the other hand, a healthy diet rich in antioxidants, regular physical activity, proper sleep, and stress reduction can help maintain telomere length and support healthy cell division. Even our environment plays a role. Exposure to radiation, toxins, and pollution increases DNA damage, while a clean, supportive environment helps the body repair itself more efficiently. This means we are not powerless. We can influence the rate of cellular aging through conscious choices. However, it's crucial to remember that these measures only delay aging. They do not stop the natural cellular countdown. Our cells are still programmed to age and die, but with proper care we can live longer, healthier, and more energetic lives. In this way, science and lifestyle work together. While aging is inevitable, understanding and nurturing our cells allows us to maximize our health span, making the most of the limited time nature has given us. Let's look ahead. Can science extend human life safely? Researchers are studying ways to slow cellular aging, repair DNA damage, and even extend telomeres in targeted cells. Stem cell therapies and telomerase-based research show promising results in laboratory settings. However, there's a delicate balance. While extending telomeres can rejuvenate cells, doing it indiscriminately can lead to uncontrolled cell division, cancer. Nature has designed our bodies to age and die slowly for a reason, to maintain order and safety at the cellular level. Longevity research is also exploring other pathways, improving mitochondrial function, enhancing DNA repair, reducing oxidative stress, and supporting the immune system. Together, these interventions could allow humans to live healthier and longer lives without breaking nature's built-in safety rules. This teaches us an important lesson. While science may give us tools to extend life, it must respect the limits set by biology. Death and aging are not enemies. They are part of a carefully balanced system, ensuring that life continues in an orderly, safe, and meaningful way. As we've seen, death doesn't start with the heart or brain. It begins deep inside our cells. Telomeres shorten, cells age, and eventually our bodies slow down and die. But here's the exciting part. Science shows us that we might be able to influence this process. Can we slow aging, extend our health span, and enhance our telomeres to live longer, healthier lives? What if the secret to longevity lies in protecting these tiny cellular timers? In the next video, we'll dive deep into how we can enhance our telomeres, the biological clocks inside us, using the latest science and lifestyle secrets. So stay tuned, because understanding this could change the way we live and age forever.